Yeah.
Do you think specialized marketing has already gone into your head?
I wouldn't say the marketing definitely for sure, but you know that time when I was hunting for the SL7 and the SL6, right? I went to almost all the big brands in Singapore, due diligence, right? And you know, specialized, be it T3, be it Binjai, or be it what's the other one?
Paso.
Yeah, Paso, right? And now recently Figaro, but back then Figaro wasn't open. They had the best customer experience, and to me, right, customer experience, right, is very, very important. It's more important than actually the specs of the bike.
I've already been anticipating all of these questions, so I would say 99% of the questions revolve around one question. I'm just browsing all my questions. Why 12K for Alubai, blah blah blah.
Yeah, you know when you buy a bike from T3, right, they always like take a picture and then put it on Instagram, right? Then the comment there immediately was like, you know, why put such expensive components on a Alu bike?
Oh, just wait until your picture comes out. You can see all the comments. Look at the wheels. It looks like shit. Why would you pay, 2.4K on a frame that has ugly wheels that were designed by a kid? What do you tell the haters?
You ride it, then you know lah. It's Alu. I mean, you cannot be no well, right?
My guests now are more familiar with my show than myself.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Are you watching that again?"
Oh my god.
Two, one.
Okay, that was actually the countdown to the show. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Alright. Yeah, thanks for coming, man. Upper Boon King car park. I know you invited me to your condominium, but unfortunately, I can't make it, man. Just
maybe
way
next
too
time.
many. Yeah, maybe next time. Way too many gears here. Actually, we wanted to postpone the shoot because it's raining, but we are here underneath a sheltered place. We'll try to make whatever that works for the show. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Introduce yourself and the bike.
Yeah. So my name is Yen, and I'm riding a 2022 Specialized Allez Sprint.
How long you COVID cyclist, right?
COVID cyclist, yeah.
What prompted you to start riding?
So you know, during circuit breaker, I was like looking at all my friends posting photos of like cycling around and you know, still having a bit of a normal life rather than being cooped up in the room. So I got very jealous. And you know, immediately after circuit breaker, I sought out a bike. I think the first one was a Dahon. I can't remember the model number. It was quite a nice bike. I rode it once and I sold it the next day because it didn't easily fit into my car. And I thought, you know, if I had to fold and unfold like that all the time, I would probably end up not riding it.
Right. So it was a Dahon. And for one day.
Yeah, one ride.
Oh, one ride?
Yeah, I sold it to my friend, so that was quite an easy sell.
Did you make a profit out of it?
No, a slight loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened after that?
Yeah, so after I sold that one, I thought, okay, I needed something that folds much smaller because my car is very small, so I need to fit the bike into the boot of my car. So I bought a Brompton, paying the crazy second-hand market price.
Wow.
Yeah, I paid a premium of I think 1,000 plus.
How much are Dahons going? A Brompton's going for?
I mean, now I think you can get retail at 2,000 plus, but back then the bike, if you buy it retail, right, it costs about 2,000 and a little bit more because I bought the 2-speed one. But the second-hand market was going for like 3 plus.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but you know, those were crazy times.
Yeah.
You buy bicycles just to profit from it.
Yeah. So did that last for one ride or a couple of rides?
No, so the Brompton lasted for quite a while. I only sold it like maybe 3 months ago. Yeah, and that's because, you know, after riding the road bikes, right, even when I'm riding my Brompton, I'm thinking about my road bike. And then I ride it very, very little, you know, like maybe occasionally just a PCN kind. Then my wife is like, you know, since you're not riding it, can you just get rid of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sold it. And I think that was about 3 months ago.
Alright.
Yeah.
And so folding bikes was your start of your cycling journey.
Correct.
And Brompton was the last folding bike, and then you got a road bike?
Yes, correct. So the Brompton came sometime in July or August 2020, and then January 2021 I bought a Specialized Diverge, the entry-level model. So it was aluminium, stock wheels, quite a nice bike for a starter. So it was half 105. So it was 105, but with a Praxis crankset, and the brakes were not hydraulic. So they were, I think, mechanical, yeah.
Why did you get a Diverge as your first road bike?
Because was doing a lot of research, right? And it seemed like the Diverge has the most like relaxed, what do you call that?
Geometry?
Yeah, relaxed geometry. And yeah, so I kind of felt like coming from the Brompton, if I go straight to a road bike in that kind of, you know, that kind of bent over position, I'll die. So I got a Diverge, and I didn't regret it. It was very comfortable, 32-inch tires, still drop bar, right? So I could get used to the whole shifting and all that.
But why did you get a Diverge? I mean, you own folding bikes.
Yeah.
Was there a reason why you wanted a road bike-ish kind of frame?
Because my Brompton was 2-speed, right? So there was kind of like a limit to how much it could go. And I kind of felt that like with bigger wheels, it could feel better. And also like poisoned by my friends, like my friend over there. I bought the Diverge entry level. He bought the S-Works Diverge.
Oh, okay. Did you try his S-Works Diverge?
Tried once, but because it wasn't fitted to me, so I didn't really know how it would have felt like if it was fitted to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and also poisoned by another friend who's a Specialized diehard fan, who made me a Specialized diehard fan as well.
Hence the shirt. Okay.
Yeah, so Specialized Diverge, and then after that I kind of felt like the mechanical brakes didn't have the feel that I wanted, and the 32-inch tires maybe a bit too fat. So I thought, okay, screw it, I'll just go for the SL7. So I went to buy SL7, rival group set. So it was my first electronic group set. Then after that I got injured. So I pulled something and I basically couldn't pedal. And then during that time I'm like, okay, never mind, just sell the SL7 away. It's not that I didn't like it, but it wasn't in the color that I really wanted, and the wheels were stock, so it really felt not like a huge jump from the Diverge, except for the the carbon body and the electronic shifting. So I thought, okay, never mind, sell it. Then I'll slowly think properly first, then see what's my next move. So after I recovered, then I bought SL6, SL6 Sport. So it's 105, full 105, and because the difference is like the higher end SL6 got the wedge seat post, right? So mine was still the rounded seat post. Yeah, so that was a very, very comfortable bike, and still quite agile, quite fast. I like that bike very much.
Wow.
And then it came with stock wheels, so I changed it to the Windspace Hyper wheels. Yeah.
But it's a funny journey, right? Because you got the Diverge and then SL7, which is like top of the range, and then you went deep down to the SL6 with using 105, right?
Yeah. So the budget I had for the SL7, right, I could buy a SL6 with nicer wheels, right? And then if that budget continued to SL7, right, I couldn't, not couldn't, but it will be beyond my set budget, right, to upgrade the wheels. Yeah.
Do you think specialized marketing has already gone into your head?
I wouldn't say the marketing definitely for sure, but that time when I was hunting for the SL7 and the SL6, right, I went to almost all the big brands in Singapore, due diligence, right? And Specialized, be it T3, be it Binjai, or be it what's the other one?
Paso.
Yeah, Paso, right? And now recently Figaro, but back then Figaro wasn't open. They had the best customer experience, and to me, right, customer experience, right, is very, very important. It's more important than actually the specs of the bike, because they make you feel like they're not pushy. They give I would think good advice, and they're very friendly. So they focus on building that community. And that's what I really like about Specialized.
So let's say if the bike is a shitty bike that you don't like, but the customer service is excellent, would you get it?
Well, I think a lot of people who don't ride Specialized would say Specialized are just like overpriced, bikes, right? So to them, they are shitty bikes. Really,
Most of the
right?
comments that I see is, you paid for marketing, the Specialized marketing work. Do you think that it was the big? I know you said they had good marketing, but for you it was mainly the sales, right?
Yeah, so I mean, some people they go for like the highest spec to get them to hit a certain speed. They want to break all their PRs, right? But for me, I'm really a cyclist that goes for like the enjoyment, for the social aspect of things, and for the whole customer experience, I would say. And I think Specialized is the best brand that gave me all of these.
So when you were doing a due diligence, obviously you were looking at different brands.
Yeah.
Did you encounter any bike shops or brands that gave you the feeling that, oh, why are they trying to push me a certain product? Is that why you thought that Specialized was okay?
I hit a lot of, not a lot, I hit some famous bike shops, right, that I think maybe it was due to the COVID demand, right? They really didn't treat the customer very well, didn't really give you that kind of experience, even though you're spending quite a big sum of money, right? Yeah, I won't name the brands, but there were some that really gave me a very shitty feeling.
Right.
And then you kind of have no choice but to go to them, right? And I didn't like that. I didn't like being held hostage, didn't like spending my money and still feeling like I owe them money like that. Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, SL6, what happened to that? And then I'm assuming this happened after that.
What happened?
Yeah.
Itchy.
Was it because of your friend who's behind the camera also? Or a bunch of friends?
This friend and many other friends.
Okay.
A lot of poison.
I hope I will never meet them. Don't want to get poisoned, man.
The poison just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think I told you off camera, right, that I'll be moving to another country. So if I wasn't moving, right, I think I'll be
getting another bike?
Changing again and again and
Which
again.
one would it be though? Because you already got the SL7, which is the latest one, right?
No, SL7, then SL6.
Right.
Yeah, then Allez Sprint.
Allez Sprint.
Yeah.
What would you have got? I mean, if you were not moving, what other bikes would you have gotten?
That's a good question. Not
Still Specialized?
maybe the S-Works SL7, because that time it was the SL7. What's the entry? Is
Com?
it Com? Yeah, Com. SL7 Com.
Right.
Yeah, maybe the S-Works SL7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So SL6 you got poisoned and then you bought this one.
Yes.
How was
And-
the poison though? Like, because are they also owning the Allez Sprint?
No, one friend owned the Allez Sprint in that. Allez Sprint got this rainbow color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the color I wanted. But that one is like forever out of stock.
Okay.
So this one was ready stock, and this was my second favorite color. So I got this one.
Wow, this one looks like the Dogma F, the launch colorway.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. You should say the Dogma F looks like this.
Oh.
Yeah, because the Allez Sprint was supposed to come out in 2021, earlier than the Dogma F. And this was the launch color.
Right.
So they kind of had this color before the Dogma F was launched.
So Dogma F copied.
I think it was, but I think the launch date for the Allez Sprint was pushed back due to supply chain issues or something like that. So it became a 2022 model. Yeah, but they had this color before the Dogma F plutonium color.
Right. Do you have some kind of interest in Specialized? That's why you have all this.
I wish, man. Are they listed?
I don't know. Right. So can we move on to this bike?
Yeah.
You let us know what you have here.
So it's 2022 Allez Sprint with Roval CL50 wheels, and not the whole crankset, but the spider and the crank arm is Croder. The reason is because that was the only brand available that had it in 160mm, which was my correct length. So to answer your future question, yes, I went for bike fit.
Okay. Which one? Performance bike fitter again?
No. Not that they're not good, but when I spoke to them, I kind of was more comfortable with another bike fitter. In fact, I went to two of the best bike fitters in Singapore. So one is Lu, which is Tim, and the other one is what's the name? Fit School. Fit School, yeah.
CPS, right?
Sorry?
Cycle Project Store.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, you went to two?
Yeah.
Why two?
So my Diverge and my SL6 was fitted by Tim, and this one is fitted by Fit School.
Why did you not go back to Tim?
Because Tim has a very long waiting list.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I bought this bike, right, I already knew that I will only have this bike for 6 months. Then I will put it up for sale because I'm moving, right? So in order to maximize these 6 months, right, I don't want to spend a few months waiting for the bike fit. Yeah.
Okay.
There was quite a bit of wait for Fit School as well, but yeah, luckily I could get he could accommodate me for earlier slot.
So you got a bike fit first before buying the bike, or was it the other way around? You got a bike and then you went for bike fit?
So because I've always stuck with Specialized, right, I kind of know my size since the first bike fit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was quite confident that this was my size, so I didn't need to go for a pre-fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just need the bike fit was more to fitting you into this bike, right?
Yeah, correct. And because it's built from frame only, right, I kind of knew what was the length I needed for my stem. As you can see, my stem is incredibly short.
You got a riser bar as well?
Yeah, and the riser bar, and it's not slammed, and I know that my my crank arms need to be 160 mm. So, but you know, when you put all that together, you still need to tweak here and there because different bike got different geometry and all that. Yeah.
Was the bike fit worth it for you? How was the bike fitting process?
Okay, so which one you want me to cover, Tim or
Both?
or Chunwei?
Yeah.
Fit School is Chunwei.
Yeah. Maybe you can start with the earlier one first.
Okay, so Tim gave me a very comfort fit.
This is your first bike fit, right?
My first bike fit on the Diverge. Very comfortable, very nice. The geometry of the Diverge also lent to the comfort part. Chunwei gave me a little bit more aggressive fit to fit this bike, the aggressiveness of this bike.
Was it something that you wanted? That he asked you, like, do you want an aggressive setup or?
No, he said that I should try, since, like, you know, my first and second bike fit with Tim, right, was maybe when I was not so flexible. So now that I've got some miles under me, I could go for a bit more aggressive. Yeah.
And how do you feel?
Definitely the performance is better. The comfort is also lesser. Yeah.
So would you go back towards a more comfortable setup, or are you okay with a more racier setup?
I think it depends on the bike. Yeah. So if I were to be riding, say, a really endurance bike like a Roubaix or another Diverge, right, or Crux or Atos, right, I will go for comfort for sure. But if it's a SL7, Venge or Allez Sprint, right, I would opt for something that suits the characteristic of the bike.
Right.
Yeah.
So 160 mm was because of what the bike fitter said?
My leg short.
The leg is short. But also because you're of a relatively shorter height, 165 cm and a 73 cm inseam, right?
Yeah.
With shorter cranks, you can raise the seat post a little bit higher,
Exactly.
which makes it look a bit aesthetically better, right?
Not only aesthetically better, but the position on the bike is also much better. Your hips can also open wider.
Yeah, and you're a bit more higher up on the bike, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And why you should get a bike fit instead of, okay, so like for example for me, right, obviously you can see I'm not a very athletic person. I'm not super in tune with like the minute adjustments of my body, right? So therefore I need someone to help me out with that. That's the first thing. The second thing is a bike fit can give you information that you really didn't know, or you can't tell from yourself. For example, there's a leg length discrepancy of my left and right leg. So for the other bike, I had to put
shims, is it?
Yeah, sheet in the shoe, right? Yeah, those sort of things you can never like tell on your own, right? So
you never knew that you had a bit of a leg discrepancy in the length?
Because it doesn't affect my day-to-day life, right? But after Tim told me, then like, oh yeah, actually really.
Did it help? Do you feel like a lot of difference after putting those shims or spacers?
Yes, but surprisingly for this one I didn't need.
How come?
I don't know.
Your legs suddenly adjusted to it.
No, I don't know. It could be different. Okay, so like for the Diverge SL7, SL6, right? I was using SPD cleats, which are mountain bike cleats, because I was afraid like I didn't want to go straight into the road bike kind of cleats, because the mountain bike cleats much easier to release, and there's a particular model, right, that's multi-directional release, and that saved me from a lot of falls. Yeah, so this is the first bike I actually changed to the road bike kind of pedal, the SPD SLs. Yeah.
Okay, that's on bike fitting. And anything else to talk about bike fit?
Anything else about it? If you can afford it, do it.
How much are these bike fits?
I think 600 plus
Okay.
or 600.
And do they guarantee you like you can come back again if it doesn't, if you feel a bit off, not comfortable?
Yeah. So I went back to do some minor adjustments, and he
They don't charge you for it.
Yeah. So Tim and Chunwei, they both didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel both of these bike fitters, the technique they use is the same or very much different?
So what I observed from both of them, right, and you know, if you watch videos on like finding like whether or not you should go for a bike fit, right, the key thing is they don't just rely on the machine, they rely on their eyes as well. Yeah, I think that's super important. That's like the experience they are paying for, right? Not the few hours that you are doing the bike fit, but for their years of experience that you know they have accumulated over the years. Yeah.
That's a good point. Have you heard of ID match?
One bike, right?
Yeah. What do you think of that? That's like purely computer, I think.
I mean, I will reserve my judgment until I actually tried it. But it seems very, very, very computer based.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it there. What else do you have on your bike? So Croder 160mm, it's the Ultegra Di2. Saddle is the power saddle, I'm going to assume?
Yes, power. Right. And then Darimo seat post.
Very bling Darimo seat post.
Yeah.
You know my question, why Darimo?
It was a gift.
It was a gift?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, amazing. Okay, cool.
And ceramic speed.
BB.
And SL7 cockpit.
Okay. So the riser bar was your choice, or the bike fitter told you needed a riser?
No, I wanted Aerofly. I definitely wanted Aerofly, right? This was the only Aerofly left, Aerofly 1, which was in a riser configuration.
Oh, okay. If they had it flat, then you would have gotten the flatter one.
I think this bike would have suited Aerofly 2 if it's slam, but because it's not slam, I think the riser looks quite nice on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't cut the stereo tube, right? This is the default.
Yes, and if you look at it, right, it's not like the other Allez Sprint that you reviewed, right? This one has integrated cables completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about performance and comfort. You've owned SL7, SL6, and now this one. Thoughts about Aluminium?
You know, the guy who had the Allez Sprint and came to your channel, that before that he had a titanium bike, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And he said this one is like super harsh.
Best material.
The titanium.
Titanium.
The titanium is very comfortable.
Because of comfort.
That's correct, true. Comfort. You can literally sit on the bike for 2 hours non-stop, and you can come down from the bike and still feel fresh.
It's not. I have no idea why he says that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely carbon is more comfortable. So my SL6 is definitely more comfortable. But this one is not that bad either.
Is it a world of difference in terms of comfort?
No, I would say negligible.
Right.
Okay, but with the caveat that my rides are usually quite short.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're doing round island, then you might feel it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very comfortable.
I forgot, because you said you wanted to, if you were not moving countries, right?
Yeah.
You get another bike. I just thought of the other specialized bike, Atos. You just mentioned it. Will you get that?
I think I would. Yeah.
But then, so let's say if you got.
So one of the, so I was discussing with my friend behind the camera there, right? What bike should I have? Should I get like after my SL6, right? And you know, one thing he said really made sense to me. It says the frame costs 2004, so this frame costs 2004. You buy any other S-Works is about 8K plus, right? So in 6 months time, right, what's the max you can lose from 2004 versus what's the max you can lose from 8K plus? So this bike made a lot more sense, and I never regretted lah, because it's really a nice riding bike. Yeah.
Yeah, ATOS, I don't know how much are those going for, man.
I think it frame set 8250 if I'm not wrong.
That's expensive, crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so this whole build on the topic of price is 12,000 Sing dollars.
Yeah.
But most people think that wow, $12,000 for a aluminium frame is expensive, which we'll come to that a bit later on the Instagram questions. But you said the frame set alone is only retailing for 2.4, right? I don't know if I should say only, but it retails for 2.4.
Correct.
For 2.4, which, okay, I know I'm going to reserve those questions. I'll leave it to the Instagram questions. And this is about 8 kilograms in weight.
Last I measured, I think it's 8.1.
8.1. Okay.
Yeah. Before
yeah.
I added my what do you call it, pedal spacers, right? I got it at 7.9, which is pretty decent.
For an aluminium frame, yeah, it is.
Yeah, but of course a few lightweight components and right now tubes.
Oh yeah, let's talk about right now tubes also. What's so special about those tubes?
Very light and not as expensive as Tubolito.
So it's mainly on the weight?
They say the feel is better, more responsive, but I don't feel it.
No difference?
It's just lighter, much lighter.
Okay.
And then you carry a spare, right? It can fit much nicer into your pouch compared to a built-out tube.
That's what I heard a lot from my friends who cycle also, right? They get the they call it TPU tubes, right?
Correct.
So they keep it as spares because it's so small and tiny, you can kind of fold it. And it saves a lot of space rather than your traditional built-out tube. And what they do is if they get a puncture, they put that TPU tube in. But once they get home, they swap it out to the built-out again, so that they don't burst that TPU tube.
Actually, no need. I just run the TPU lah.
Expensive, right? But okay, right now, how much are those?
I think the cheapest you can get is 15.
Back then, we didn't have all this right now. It's only Tubolito, right? Which was what, I think 60 bucks or 50.
But the first batch of right now got quality issue.
Oh.
Like I buy 4, only 1 will be working well.
Oh shit, where are these made from again?
China.
Okay.
Yeah, but their second batch, right? So the front is using the first batch, the rear is using the second batch. The nozzle is very different. So apparently the puncture comes from the nozzle area. Yeah.
Why don't you go on tubeless? Have you tried tubeless?
A few reasons. Firstly, right, I maintain the bike at my balcony, and if there were to be an accident like sealant all over the balcony, right, I think my wife would throw me over the balcony. Yeah. Secondly, I'm using an electronic pump. I don't have a foot pump.
Is it a Fumpa pump or something?
Xiaomi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've been using it since my Brompton days.
Does it work? Is it accurate?
Yeah, very good.
How much is those? Maybe I should get one.
30 bucks?
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah. So I don't have a foot pump. So I think from totally flat to inflated, right, you need large volume of air, right? That's why you need a foot pump. The Xiaomi can't really do it that well. So that's why I'm not on tubeless.
Talk about performance of the wheels.
Okay, so I was contemplating whether I should stick to wind space or change to Roval.
Was it the Hypers you got?
Yeah, correct. So to complete the whole like specialized look, right? So the buyer of the SL6 made that decision for me. He bought my wind space. So I decided to change to Roval to get the complete look.
Right.
So I would say wind space versus Roval, of course the key difference is the hub system, right? One is a pawl system, one is a ratchet system. I like the sound of the ratchet system more. So I'm very superficial.
Yeah. Okay.
So I make my decisions on like looks, how it sounds, how it feels, rather than the performance.
On looks, right? You know what's missing?
OSPW.
Yeah.
Very good. There's a very good reason for it. I would have gotten it, but there is very poor resale value for it. And as you know, right, I'm going to sell my bike in 6 months' time. I mean, from the time I bought my bike. So I will be losing like maybe half the value of the OSPW had I installed it. So I thought, okay, never mind. Just get the BB will do.
Is there a reason why there's a poor resale value? Is that people just not selling it? Is it so good that people are not selling it on the second-hand market?
Okay, firstly, right, it's very tied down to your group set, right? So it's not universal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, the warranty doesn't transfer. Yeah, so I guess that's why lah.
Sorry, I don't have an OSPW. I cannot I cannot
I thought you're gonna
understand.
get sponsored one.
I will give it away for 10,000 subscribers. Not for me, but I'll give it away. Okay. So you own the Windspace and the Rovel.
Yeah.
Price obviously differs drastically.
Correct.
Is it worth that upgrade? Do you think people should go for branded wheel set, go for China wheel set, Windspace?
I think the Windspace is pretty good. Yeah. But so from a design perspective, right, the Windspace has the butterfly weave pattern, right? For plain bike with the butterfly weave pattern, right, it makes the bike stand out more, so it's very nice. But for a bike with a bit more design, like the half color like this, right, and then you put the butterfly weave, right, I feel it's a bit too complicated. So the Roval is much more understated. Then paired with the 10 tires, right, it really completes the look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you built your bike up mainly because of looks, right? You know, when I've interviewed a couple of guys, they have this laminate on their frame.
The
What do you call it?
PPF.
PPF, yes.
Yeah.
You're obviously a car guy. We can see your car, beautiful car from here. What do you think of PPF on bikes? It's just very strange that people put PPF on bikes.
I think it protects from stone chips and all that, right? So like, okay, like the cost of the PPF versus like totally repainting your bike. And then I would rather go for the repaint of the bike lah. So let it just chip unless it's those super limited edition colors. Yeah.
But it's more like insurance, right? People buy it because like scared damage, paint chip and whatever.
Like I said, like if it's like a limited edition colorway, right, then yeah, I will do it. But if it's like off the rack, then you know what's the worst that can happen? You just repaint it.
Okay, last question is, this is the Ultegra 12 speed.
Yeah.
You've owned 11 speed before, I'm assuming the previous ones?
No, I had the rival, the SRAM rival.
Oh, okay, so you own
Yeah.
SRAM and Shimano.
Yeah.
Preference because you own both. And one more question, additional question is, people say that SRAM has a bit of delay in shifting. Is that true?
True.
And okay, it's true?
True.
Okay, and
Yeah.
12 speed
Compared
versus,
to this,
compared to this
Yeah.
newer one, right?
Yeah.
12 speed versus 11 speed, do you need the extra speed?
If you can afford it, you should go for it. Not because of the extra gear, but because it's true wireless. Yeah, so it doesn't have that whole battery pack in the seat post, and you don't need an additional thing to connect it to your app and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and the shifting is really, really very, very fast.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
I think it's much more smoother and quieter, right? You
Yeah.
don't feel it shifting.
Correct.
It's called
So-
Hyper Glide or something.
Hyperglide, yeah, I think so. It's a technology borrowed from the mountain bike, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so for this one, right, the good thing is, if let's say you are climbing, right, you don't need to kind of release the power then shift, right? You can just shift.
So you can still pedal through, pushing the power and shift up or down.
Correct.
And it doesn't go like
Yeah.
kang and...
Yeah, and for a non-performance guy, right, why does it matter to me, right? Because the feel of it is really much smoother, crisper, and more natural feeling than the rival. And I would assume the 11 speed Di2 also.
Right.
So it was a consideration. It's about 1,000 less.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you tried bringing this bike to climbs on Faber, Sentosa?
I can't climb for nuts.
But have you tried bringing it out
I
there?
tried failed.
So the
But
question...
not because of the bike, because of the rider.
Okay, you saved yourself. I was just going to ask the question. We move on to the Instagram questions. If you guys want to ask your questions, you can follow me IG and submit it to my Insta story. I've already been anticipating all of these questions, so I would say 99% of the questions revolve around one question. So I'm going to start flashing all the questions. But the first question that my friend Josh, who owns the exact same questions, he probably got a lot of shit for this bike. That's why he asked this question to you. He said this: my favorite drinking game. When people mention the welts, take a drink. Too bad we don't have any drinks here, and this is a family-rated show. So the welts, right? Everyone says, "Oh, look at the welts. It looks like shit. Why would you pay, 2.4K on a frame that has ugly welts that were designed by a kid?" What do you tell the haters?
But you ride it, then you know lah. It's alu. I mean, you cannot be no well, right? Yeah.
But I guess maybe could they have made it more subtler? Is there a way? I don't know.
I don't really notice it, honestly. Yeah, I think it's fine.
It's not a concern for you when you ride and then you keep staring at the wells. Oh shit, it's an eyesore.
Totally not. Totally not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think by the time if we were to play the drinking game, we will all be knocked out already because of the amount of questions people ask about the welds. Yeah.
I didn't know it's a thing
Yeah,
but it's an alu bike, what would you expect? And it's 2.4.
Okay, so the next question, somewhere buried in my phone, I remember seeing this question. Someone asked, for 2.4K, what about getting a Cannondale Cat 13? I think he said that.
Got no well meh, that one?
I think it's not about the welds, but more of the price you're paying for it, right? I don't know if those Cat 13s are cheaper or not.
I think it's cheaper. I also think it's an older model. I also think like I said, when I bought the bike, 6 months time frame, I think Specialized will sell much better than Cannondale.
What will be the next component upgrades, if there's any?
If I were to have kept it, I think I would change the hub, the wheel hub, to 240 or 180.
Why?
Sounds better.
It's just more of sound?
Yeah.
Why don't you just upgrade the ratchet?
Upgraded already.
This is 54 teeth?
Yeah, 54.
So it's going to be very loud later. You can hear.
No, I just greased it, so it's not
so
that
loud. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm just browsing all my questions. Why 12K for Alubai? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, you know when you buy a bike from T3, right? They always like take a picture and then put it on Instagram, right? Then the comment there immediately was like, why put such expensive components on a alu bike?
Oh, just wait until your picture comes out. You can see all the comments. It might sound repetitive, but I'm going to ask these questions, which I think is a bit interesting. 12,000 for this build with an alu bike. Why don't you get the Tarmac SL7 Pro, which costs about 13,000 instead?
I like this color more.
Just more of color.
Yeah, it's really about the looks.
Why did you get okay, then why don't you get the SL7 Pro and repaint it?
When you repaint, the resale value is affected, and I'm only owning it for 6 months.
Okay, so for you it's
Yeah.
6 months, I want to get rid of it.
Correct. And I mean, I own the SL7 Com, which is FAC 11R, same as the Pro, same as the Expert. So the only difference will be the wheels and the group set. Yeah, so not compelling enough a reason for me.
Okay. Croder crank arms, how is the performance? I guess like crank arms, you can't really tell performance, right? For you, it's just the length.
Okay, so here's the thing, when I am riding a bit harder, right, there's a bit of creaking. I'm not sure if it's from the crank arm or is it from the alu frame.
Have you got it rectified? Like try to rectify it?
No, it can't be rectified. So
Really?
I think it's the crank arm, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, I could be wrong though.
Is it very loud? Like when you power down, is it? That you hear the creak?
No, it's like tap, tap, tap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it could be the frame, the alu frame, or it could be the crank arm. But you know why I got Croder is that was the only thing that was available at 160. Ideally, I would have loved to get a Shimano at 160, but couldn't find any at all. Or if not, then the rotor. But then I would have to change the whole crankset, which at that time didn't want to spend that much.
I remember interviewing another lady who was sort of a relative shorter height. She also got Croder because of it was the only available crank arms at 160. Is there any other brands that manufacture 160 or 155 or something like that?
Croder, rotor, and there's one more Taiwanese brand. I can't remember what is it called, but it's very popular for Brompton one.
Okay.
Do you know? Yeah, I can't remember the name, but there is. Yeah.
This is like how the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, then you press if you want help from your friend, but unfortunately your friend cannot give the answer. That is all the IG questions. We were all about the wealth, why pay so much for this price. Anything else?
Yeah, I think cycling is supposed to be fun, right? I think sometimes the focus on fun gets lost after you chase performance. So I would want to encourage people to not forget about having fun and not just chase on performance all the time.
Well said. I'm always trying to chase after my fast friends, that's all, and sometimes I just don't have fun. Like I'm just powering down and like, oh my god, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this again.
So actually I just want to be fast enough, right, to be able to keep up with the group.
Just be like me, just draft all the fast guys. And then your Strava will be like, fast speed, but then people look at the power, so it's not even putting up power. And you mentioned that you don't have a power meter, right?
I don't see a need to have it because I'm not a stats guy.
Do you think you'll stick to, or do you think you'll be a stats guy? Do you think you'll go hard on road bikes?
No, it never really motivated me before, the stats. Like,
maybe you need to join faster groups. Who are you riding with?
no, actually, he's not in my group.
Oh.
Yeah, so my group, the name you already know, is a fun group already. It's called Team Mario Kart. Yeah, okay. So we are more of a just enjoy, chill, cafe. Every ride is a social ride. Yeah. Take lots of pictures kind of group.
I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you go out, have fun. Like as long as you're out of the house, just riding a bike, some form of exercise, right?
Yeah, so, but again, like the health aspect wasn't the reason why I ride lah. It's more of actually it is health. It's like mental health, right? Because when you ride, you feel very like a strong sense of freedom, and you're not stressed out. You feel like you can go anywhere you want. You can do anything you want, and that's what really attracted me to cycling and still attracts me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yen, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, and all the best in wherever you're going to be going. Hopefully someday you'll come back here with another bike, another specialized.
Hopefully.
Maybe SL10 or SL20.
And just check on Carousel because I don't know when this video will come out.
I also don't know.
Yeah, if you want a good deal, right, just PM me.
Searching all night, can't seem to focus this double sight. This is a tale sworn in a sight. Finding my way back to
specific frequency.